Welcome back, I'm Jester of the Retro Stars. I'm playing through Ocarina of Time and analyzing it as we go. We are making our way to Zora's domain, so we're going to encounter a third way of perceiving the sacred. We've already talked about the attitudes that the Kokiri and the Gorons have toward the sacred. I don't really want to fight you, excuse me. And we are going to encounter the Zora's particular perceptions of it. We're also going to talk about their particular curse in that they're all frozen in ice. We'll talk about how this idea of being frozen is the absolute thematic inverse of what the Zoras represent and is therefore a fitting curse for them. Anyway, we are making our way up Zora's River, and we've already been here as a child. It's interesting to come back here, and it honestly feels like Zora's River kind of feels like a mini level. It's this, like you almost imagine that you could be Mario jumping around here. Like it's very linear. You fight some enemies on your way. There's some cool little details to find, like the frogs on the log that we did not talk to, but they're there, they're neat. It's a mini level, basically. And it's interesting coming here as an adult and everything feeling so much smaller. Look, we just tore our way through that. Already made it to Zora's domain. Whereas when you're a child, you've got to get the chicken to cross that first jump in the river there, and, you know, it feels much more big and adventurous. And I think that is thematically appropriate for the idea of Link growing up. Okay, here we go. Zora's domain. As we can see, it is frozen. We no longer have the calming grid of light reflecting off of the water as we did before. And you can even see snowflakes like going through the sky, air, whatever. So this is the Zora's Curse. I think it's worth asking, why frozen? Why are the Zoras frozen? I think the reason is because ice represents the exact inverse of what the Zoras themselves represent, right? The Zoras are all about this harmonious movement with the forces of the cosmos, whereas ice is inherently stagnant. There's no movement, there's no flow. You know, the flow of the water has ceased, leaving only cold lifelessness. We can see here that, oh, we're fine. Oh, there we go. Get up there, please. We can see that Lord Jabu Jabu is no longer here. And there's no explanation for where he has gone. I don't need the heart piece. There's no explanation for where he has gone, but we get the sense that he's gone because of the curse. Again, Ganondorf's curse we're associating with the idea of disenchantment, loss of meaning, and loss of love. Oh, it spins. Oh, it spins. Can I just hop onto this and skip past? Yee! Maybe not. Hey, get up there, please. So, the benevolent spiritual guardian of this place is no longer here, and all that's left behind are these indifferent natural forces that are hostile to life. Okay, so on some level, the ice is unnatural. It is unnatural compared to what the Zoras are and represent. But it is also interesting because ice is a natural form that water can take. So is this actually unnatural, or is it a natural part of the Zora life cycle, I suppose? I think we're thinking of the ice more on a symbolic level. I think that's one way to deal with it. Great. Zoras represent movement. Oh dear. Ice represents rigidity and stillness in a way that the Zoras are not. I think, oh, another way we can solve the problem is just by thinking of the fact that the ice isn't supposed to show up here. It's unnatural in the sense that this is not part of the cycles of the cosmos in which the Zoras usually participate. Oh, I need to kill the other guy. Where's the other guy? Where's the other? There he is. Oh no, I'm gonna get hit. Oh, there we go. Nice. Get out of there. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so the Ice Cavern is one of 2 side dungeons in Ocarina of Time, the other of which is the bottom of the well. And both of these side dungeons, I think, thematically reflect the ideas explored in the temples themselves, but in different ways. So the Ice Cavern is the thematic inverse of the Zora. It's unnatural, it's the result of the curse, and it only shows up because of Ganondorf, right? Like this is the curse for the Zora. The bottom of the well is interesting because it's also unnatural and profane. It represents the dark underbelly of Kakariko Village. Did I come in this way? Hold on, I can look at a map. I never do that. That doesn't help me actually at all. Okay, I think I need to go up here. And once I get the blue fire, I'm going to quickly exit and go ahead and get my blue tunic so that I can breathe underwater. Anyway, the bottom of the well. Is this correct? Is this correct, or am I just going the same direction? We will find out here in just a moment. Oh no, we're good, we're good. Okay, the bottom of the well. Oh no, wait, I didn't get frozen. That's awesome. Love that. These, to me, are actually the most annoying enemies of the game because they will freeze you if they touch you, and takes a minute to get unfrozen, and you just consistently get hurt the whole time. Okay. The bottom of the well is also unnatural. However, it's debatable whether or not it's actually the result of the curse. It has always been there. And I think that reflects something of the difference between Kokiri and, or not Kokiri, Zora and Hylian society, right? The Zoras start out, again, with the effortless synergy with the cosmos. The Hylians don't, and I think the fact that the bottom of the well has already existed as this profane, potentially cursed place potentially reflects that idea. Okay, let's get some fire. And now we can make our way back outside really quickly. All right, here we are, back at Zora's domain. Let us... Oh dear. Let us not slip off the ice. We do love a good Nintendo 64 ice level with its goofy physics. And interesting view. Looks like a modernist painting. Okay. Get up on your platform so you can fittingly talk to the dude. All right. Oh, I do love how he just stays sitting where he was 7 years ago. After we had that really long cutscene where he has to move out of the way. He just stays there. Anyway, the poor Zoras cannot catch a break. I guess anyone in this world cannot really catch a break. Okay, so now we have our tunic that will allow us to breathe underwater. Want to go ahead and grab that and continue to fast forward back to where we were originally. Okay, we're back in the ice cavern. I think that... Ooh, just walking with it. That's fine. Which one of these do I need to unfreeze? I might... That's, that should be a gold Skulltula. Which of these do I need to unfreeze? Maybe it was that one. Whatever, I can go back and get more fire if I need to. It just feels kind of like a chore. Okay, so I think that is just a gold Skulltula. Wait, no it's not. There's a doorway there. Jester, thou art blind. Okay. The Zoras represent wisdom, harmony with the cosmos, whatever. They also represent love, I would say. The fact that Ruto is all about romance. We'll see there, we're gonna tie together the idea of movement and love when we learn the Serenade of Water. And I think that's interesting because ice can represent lack of love. In, whoa, no. In Dante's Divine Comedy, the bottom of hell, like you think of hell as, oh dear, okay, get him. Ah, yeah. The bottom of hell, you think of hell as full of fire and brimstone, right? That's the common image, the common way of speaking about like hell in a metaphorical sense. Dante, the bottom of Dante's hell is actually this frozen lake of ice in which Satan is lodged. And Satan, by batting his wings, is actually creating a frozen wind that keeps him frozen there. So by his own choice, he's remaining stuck in the frozen ice. The reason that Dante has done this is that his way of, like, his metaphor for how we understand the love of God is actually movement, right? Like, he uses images of fire, of light, and of the movement of the planets. So Dante's depiction of paradise takes place in the Aristotelian solar system, and the closer you get to God, the more enlivened you are with the love of God, and the faster you're spinning around the center of all things. The inverse is the bottom of hell, where there is no movement. There's no movement because there's no love, and vice versa. So there's no sense of being enlivened. Oh dear. I like the block puzzles here, actually. They're a little, maybe slightly, maybe I'm talking myself into liking this section more than I do. I do like the vibes a lot. I like the mysterious, lonely sounding music. I think that works really well thematically. It's a little, the ice physics are a little annoying, I have to admit. Okay, I need you, wait, can I get the block to where I need it to go? I don't think so. I'll just start over. The ice physics are a little not particularly the most fun to play, but I do think, again, thematically, the puzzles here are kind of neat. We're sliding these blocks around to try and get places. We're incorporating movement even of what should be frozen and still. This big old block of ice. We're making it move to further our access to the temple. Dungeon. This isn't even really a dungeon. Whatever. Terminology. It's fine. Okay, we have the silver rupees that we need, so the door is open. And we can go over here. I'm gonna have to start over again. Okay. Anyway, ice as symbolic of lack of love. This also fits with the idea of the curse. Part of the problem with the disenchanted universe is that it is no longer animated by the love of forces greater than human understanding. It is now dead matter, it is cold, it is frozen, it is lifeless. So the Zora's Curse in particular, oh, this is going to be a little funny. The Zora's Curse in particular fits with the idea of the curse in general. Here we go. I think we're about to, I think that's the last puzzle, and now we have to fight a wolf, and then we get to talk to Shiek. The way Shiek operates in this dungeon, and in the water temple in general, is really cool, because we can see that Shiek has been working in the background, as it were, to accomplish things. We'll see here in just a second that Shiek has actually already gone through this place and has rescued Princess Ruto from the ice. So Shiek is just actively engaged in what's going on in the background. I think this is really cool because, like I mentioned before, that Zelda is also a hero of the story, even though we're not seeing things from her perspective. And we can see that as Shiek, she's acting very proactively. from our perspective in the background, but it's really not in the background. Okay, now we're getting the iron boots, and we are decked out for the water temple. All right, and now Shiek shows up again to recite more poetry. She talks about the flow of water as representative of an immature love growing into a deep affection. So here, the poetry that she recites, and she is always reciting poetry before she teaches us a song, has to do with tying together movement and love. Again, there's just a cool thematic resonance across all aspects of the encounter with a temple. The temple has its own theme that reflects the sacred of the particular race we're encountering, which also reflects Link's growth into an adult, into a mature, spiritually integrated human being. It all connects. I think that's really cool. Anyway, the Serenade of Water is another one of those songs where, similar to the Song of Storms, I loved encountering remixes of it on YouTube when I was in high school. Here we go. It's just so peaceful and mystical, and I love the cutscene here. Like, this room doesn't really make any sense. It seems to be we're inside this giant cube of ice with all of these geometric refractions throughout it, with this darkness beyond. Something very cool, and I like how the... Oh, interesting. So with the Bolero of Fire, we had the constant interposition of the shots of Link and Shiek playing their music at each other, and this represents the deep friendship that they are beginning to establish. Here we're looking at the ice. And even though this ice room is frozen, there's something about the quality of the light where it's refracted through it in a really interesting way. So maybe we're giving like hope of movement or something like that. I don't know. Okay, I was about to say I could be overthinking it, but I am of course overthinking this entire game. As I'm preparing for each of these episodes, I write out an outline for each episode on a single sheet of printer paper, but I'm basing each of these outlines on very extensive notes that I've taken on this game. My notes right now extend to here we are in Lake Hylia, and we can see that it is completely out of water. We didn't actually go here in this playthrough as a child to see how it's like full of water, but you can see how barren it looks, right? It's a dry lake bed. There's only a little bit of water there, and it's raining in nighttime, so not the most cheerful vibes at the moment. Anyway, I have notes about right past the Shadow Temple at this point, and I think we've just about hit 10,000 words of notes. So, yeah, I like overthinking things for fun. Okay. Especially when it's a thing I think is really neat and cool. Let us enter the water temple now, and we'll use our hookshot. The only items we can use once we're underwater are the hookshot. Can we use bombs? I don't think we can use bombs. Hold on. Not a Deku Nut. We can't use bombs. I think it's just the hookshot. Alright, here we are in the water temple. What many consider to be the worst dungeon in the game. I very much disagree. I think the water temple is really cool, both on a vibes level and on a thematic level. Okay, so the first thing I need to do, and I might fast forward here as I'm searching around. Wait, actually, I might have remembered where it is. There's a, so you're supposed to go down to the bottom right here to talk to Ruto, but there is this one random block that you need to push, I think, before changing the water levels, and that you will thank yourself later on if you do that. No, not this way. Okay. Okay, maybe I have to find it later, actually. I said I like the water temple. I didn't say I was good at the water temple. It's fine. We'll go ahead and talk to Ruto and get things kicked off here. Like I was talking about with Shiek / Zelda, I like how you have the feeling that she's proactively working in the background to accomplish stuff, and in that sense, Link is not alone. And we have a similar feeling here with Ruto. And I guess Darunia from the last temple as well, but here everything starts to feel more collaborative. So Shiek has come along, freed Ruto from the ice, and now Ruto's in the temple trying to figure stuff out and accomplish stuff on her end, right? So we have the sense that Link is collaborating with the two of them. Like, we're all working together to make our way through this temple, defeat the weird goopy monster at the end of the temple, and yeah, it's a cool sense of collaboration. Again, Link is not this lone hero. We're all working together on this, even though Link does the majority of the work from a gameplay perspective, of course. But now Ruto is telling us to follow her, so we're gonna hop up there and change the water level. I so hope I'm not going to miss the block that I need to push. I can't... Whenever you change the water level, you kind of have to go and look through all of the rooms again before you try to make progress, because... yeah, whenever you change the water level, it'll affect what's going on in each of the rooms. And I think that's one of the reasons why people are kind of frustrated by this temple. And next episode, I'll talk more about how the structure of the temple itself reflects the Zora understanding of the sacred. I think we're going to leave that discussion for that point. But it's understandable why people might not vibe with the water temple, because it can be really, really confusing. Okay, so we have our map, I believe. All right, got the map. Let's go ahead and change the water level. Then I think I'll probably pause this episode and continue next time. We have another instance of playing Zelda's Lullaby. Again, thematically, Zelda's Lullaby represents the idea of kingship, which is not control or domination of reality. It is proper stewardship of one's sphere of existence. And so here I think the idea of kingship, we can see really clearly that it's about living harmoniously with the universe. Because the raising... wow. Oh, it's already on. I am silly. The raising and lowering of the water levels is very much reflective of the tides, right? And the tides already exist without Link's direct action in the world. But what the idea of kingship does through Zelda's Lullaby is that it allows Link to live in, like, act alongside the tides to accomplish what he needs to accomplish, right? So he's not creating the tides on a metaphorical level. Okay, let's clear out these guys. It does feel like the water temple is full of a bunch of squirmy little enemies. More so than with some of the other temples. I don't really know why. There's all of these rooms of, like, the clam guys and the anemone guys and just a bunch of little guys. Okay. Let's make our way out here. And see, now we have the world completely without... maybe the block I need to push is right here? No. This is a block I need to push, but this is not the one that I'm thinking of. There's another block somewhere. What am I thinking of? This is... We're going to end up running into problems. It's going to be a repeat of the saga of the missing key in the Fire Temple. Well, I guess that did something. Cool, we're going to explore this together. Oh, hello, Tektite. I love these guys. I don't know why. They're just funny. Okay. Let's pause here, I believe. I think next time we should be able to make our way through the entirety of the temple. It might be a longer episode. I don't know. We'll see. But we're going to talk more specifically about the Zora view of the sacred. All right. Until next time.